do this as fast as possible. We only got about 10 minutes left. Fast as possible. I want to let you know why I'm excited about Jesus Christ. I want to let you know why I'm able to be here tonight. I want to let you know what Christ has done for me and how he's changed me, delivered me, how he's loved me, how he's set me free. Tonight, I come before you as a young man that has traveled all over the world. I've been to over 17 different countries preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ. Okay? And you know what? Man, God has opened up some major doors. As you guys know, I'm sponsored by Not in This World, and I'm also wearing I Am the Way clothing. God is just moving. God is just opening up so many doors. And God is doing great things in my life. But it wasn't easy. As a child, I could not speak. I was born with a disease. Doctor said I would never speak and that I would die at a young age from suffocation. As you guys look at me today, you guys see I'm a pretty cool guy, you know. But there was issues when I was younger. Not only did I grow up with no voice, but I grew up in a home that was in poverty. My parents were both drug addicts, addicted. My dad was in and out of jail, doing his own thing. My life, as I knew it, was nothing. It had no value. It had no meaning. I grew up being teased and made fun of by everybody because I couldn't speak, because I wore the same clothes all the time. I would always complain about how hungry I was. Man, my life, I felt like that was it. Like there was nothing for me. I was worthless. I was nothing. I didn't care about anything. And not having a voice and being a child, I just felt like I was different. I wasn't normal. There was something about me that didn't mean anything to anybody else. So guess what? I started to feel worthless about myself. At a young age, just as a little kid, I was already thinking about suicidal thoughts at the age of 5 years old. Trip on this. At 5 years old, with no voice, with this disease, doctor said I would have to go through surgeries for the rest of my life. At 5 years old, I had already over 35 surgeries. At 5 years old, I had already over 35 surgeries on my throat. There I am in someone's apartment complex. And this lady from downstairs has this tug in her heart that she wants to come upstairs and minister to my mom. And as she makes her way up the stairs and she knocks on the door, my mom answers. She says, yes, how may I help you? She goes, you know what? God spoke to me about you and about your son. And my mom said, what are you talking about? She says, you know what? God wants you to pray for your son's throat. My mom says, how do you know about his throat? God wants me to come up here and pray. And my mom's just tripping because my mom doesn't know Jesus at the time. My mom lets the lady inside the house, and this lady says, you know what? We're going to pray for him. And my mom tells her the situation. He has a disease. Doctor's saying he'll never speak. He'll die at a young age from suffocation. He'll have all these surgeries for the rest of his life. He'll never be normal. My mom says this. He has no hope. And the lady says, no, there's hope in Jesus Christ. This lady says, let's pray for him. Let's pray for him. So she tells her mom, I'll put my right hand over the front of his throat. You put your left hand over the front of his throat. I'll put my left hand behind his throat. You put your right hand behind his throat. And they began to choke me. Just kidding. But they put their hands on my throat. And what happens at this point in time is my mom tells me the story all the time, and I remember a little bit of it. They put their hands on my throat, and she just starts praying, and she says this, you know what? Lord, Father God, I pray complete healing. I pray miracle, boom, boom, boom. She starts praying, and then she stops, and she goes, you know what? God wants me to tell you these words. My mom's like, okay, you're hearing from the Lord. That's awesome, you know? And she says, this young man is going to be a miracle. His voice will come, and he will travel the world preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ with his voice. Hold on. And she goes, not only will he preach the gospel, but he will rap for Jesus Christ. Hold on, 5 years old, my mom, see back then when I'm 23 now. I'm going to be 24. So back then, it's almost 20 years ago, hip-hop was of the devil, okay? So my mom was like, hip-hop is of Satan, you know? And that's all my mom knew was like, you know, if anything's going to happen in church, it's not going to be rap music. And my mom just started tripping out on this lady. She said, he's going to travel the world, he's going to preach the gospel, he's going to be healed of his disease, and he's going to rap for Jesus. And so many people are going to know him all over the world, and God's going to open up major doors. My mom was tripping. Years passed, going through school, being made fun of all the time. My voice started to come back. Trip on this. I started developing a stronger voice because I had no voice. I had like air pressure, like a whisper, like, hey, how you guys doing? You know, like just real low and jacked up, and I was scared to talk because everybody would make fun of me. So after having so many surgeries, my throat started to open up. It was starting to clear up. And as I got older, I was still going through like self-worth issues. And as I started going through school and everything, I started growing up and I started getting myself involved in the wrong type of things because I felt like if there's a God, why would he do this to me? If there was a God and he truly loves me, why would he give me this disease? If there's a God, then boom, boom, all these things started going through my mind. And I didn't realize that it wasn't God doing it to me. But in John 10:10, the Bible says that the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. So the enemy tried to inflict me with this disease. The enemy tried to take me out. And I didn't understand that. So as a child, I was hurt and I was angry and I was upset. And I remember just being there in my bedroom, just wanting to die. I started getting myself involved with the wrong people. At the age of 11 years old, I was already getting involved in gangs, and I was jacked up, and I was fighting, and I was hurting people, and I was hurting myself, and I didn't even know what to do with my life. I had no education whatsoever because I went to school and did not listen. Sat in classrooms, did not know anything. I was jacked up. My life was just hurting. I was in pain, and I was messed up. At the age of 13, love came. Someone say love. If there's always a girl or a guy in the picture, like some Notebook status, you know what I'm saying? So what happens is this girl, she's my neighbor, and I try to talk to her, and I'm like thinking she's pretty, she's cute, so I'm like, you know, I really want to talk to her, I really want to know her, and I started talking to her brother, because I'm like, any way I can get to her, through her brother, you know? So I started talking to her brother, and me and her brother become like cool best friends, and like, he's my best friend, you know, right, you know? But we started being cool, and then I started talking to her, and she had these family issues, and all these problems going on in her life. And I remember years of talking to her, and we were just friends. We never actually committed into a relationship. We were friends. I walked her home every day from school. I walked her to school, back home, to school, back home every day for like years. And we became very close, and we knew everything about each other. We hung out all the time. But I was stuck in that friend zone like Jacob from Twilight. It was just like, dude, don't you know I want to kiss you and hug you and love you? And that just never happened. So I started talking to this girl. We're getting to know each other, and everything's going great, it seems. And she had all these family issues on the background. One day I get a call from my mom, and my mom's just crying on the phone. And I said, Mom, what's wrong? And she says, you know what? Joanna committed suicide today. And my whole life that I felt value in, I started feeling good about myself because she was getting me out of trouble. She was, very entertaining and cool and fun. And when she killed herself because of the family issues she was having, my whole life just went. So not only do I have this disease, but I'm struggling, and I already have thoughts of low self-esteem. This girl commits suicide. It makes me want to commit suicide. Remember, at the age of 14 and a half years old, I'm messing around, getting myself in all these bad things because I didn't care about life anymore. I just want to die. I don't care about anything. So there I am, cruising around in Los Angeles and messing around with all the bad people and hanging out with all the bad people. And everything from being shot at to doing stupid stuff to other people to stealing to robbing to cheating to smoking, cursing, everything you can think of. I was jacked up, I was messed up, and I was hurting, and I was looking for love in all the wrong places. Still having a disease, still going through the girl I felt that I loved committing suicide, still going through all these issues and surgeries and all this stuff going on in my mind, feeling like I wasn't worth anything. So one day I decided, I don't care, I just want to have a shootout with the cops, or I'm going to shoot somebody else, I don't care.